Algebra 1, Section 3.5, we're dealing with linear equations. Now these are similar to all that we've been doing so far. You need a lot of practice on this. So make sure that you're reviewing the steps. Okay? So according to our order of operations, we always start with the parentheses. So here we have a parentheses. Okay? Here we have a parentheses. So I'm going to deal with that. Everything else I'm going to bring straight down. Okay? Not too far down. I'm going to bring straight down because we're going to deal with that later. Right now we're just focusing on the parentheses. Let's see what we can do. We have a negative, bring everything, negative 5 times 3x, which gives me a negative 15x. Okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and multiply it by the entire thing. So negative 5 times positive 2 gives me a negative 10. Do the same thing here. Okay? Take 6 times 4, which gives me positive 24x. And 6 times negative 5, which gives me a negative 30. Now I've gotten rid of all of my parentheses. The next step that I need to do is combine like terms. Once I do that, then I can apply last section by putting the x's on one side. So I'm going to combine like terms. Well, negative 15x plus 9x, okay, gives me a negative 6x. And because this is by itself, I'm just going to bring it down because there's no combining it with anything. Okay? This has no combination, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring that down as well. My next step then is to bring all of the x's on one side. So the opposite of positive 24x would be negative 24x, canceling this side. And again, what I do to one side, I have to do the other. So this gives me a negative 24x that I also have to include. Okay? So negative 6x plus negative 24x gives me a negative 30x minus 10 equals negative 30. Okay? From there, I now have to get rid of all of x's friends, because now x is all on one side. I have to get rid of all of x's friends. Okay? In order to do that, I need to then get rid of my negative 10 by doing the opposite, which is positive 10. Positive 10. I end up with, I'm running out of space here, I end up with negative 30x, I have to keep that. Okay, this and this cancel out, equals negative 30 plus 10 gives me negative 20. Okay, then I go ahead and divide both sides by the opposite of negative 30 times x. The opposite is dividing by negative 30. This cancels out, and I end up with negative 30. In this, I end up with my fraction. Negative, negative cancel out, 2/3. Because negative 20 over negative 30. If you divide both sides by 10, it simplifies to positive 2/3. So, I got to make sure that I distribute first. Once I distribute, then I can combine like terms, then bring the x's all to one side, and then isolate the x. Okay? Let's try the next one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and focus on the parentheses. Everything else I'm going to bring down. Okay, so 1/3 of 21, so 21 divided by 3, which would give me 7x. Okay, 1/3 times positive 18 be 18 divided by 3, which gives me a positive 6. Then I'm going to take the whole thing, so negative 2 times x gives me a negative 2x, and the negative 2 times negative 5 gives me a positive 10. So from here to here, what I did is I distributed. The next step, just like this one, I'm going to combine like terms. So, let's see. There's no like terms here, so I'm going to just bring that down. here I have a 23 without an x and a 10. So 23 plus 10, which would give me a 33. And since this is its loner, I'm going to just bring it down, negative 2x. Now it's my job to get all of the x's on one side. Well, this one is being subtracted by 2, so I'm going to add 2x. That cancels out. And what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I have to add 2x. This gives me 9x plus 6 equals 33. From there, I need to get rid of x's friends from the furthest ones out. And in this case, the furthest one out is 6. Okay, because 9 is directly attached to x. So I need to do the opposite, which is subtract 6. Okay, I end up with 9x. This cancels out, equals 27. My final step is to do the opposite of 9 multiplied by x, which is dividing by 9. That cancels out. I have to do it on this side. I end up with x equals 27 over 9, which is 3. And that's my answer. So go ahead and write this down. Okay? Page 116, number 14 and 16 is what you're assigned, and I will see you in class.